Hello there, this is Martin L from Supermania78.com. I'm really pleased to be here today to present to you something that hasn't been seen for 30 years or more. This behind me is the prop from the opening scenes of Superman 4 where Christopher Reeve gets changed. This phone booth is all that remains of that scene, and it was in a private collection until recently where it was discovered and acquired. It has been screen matched using the markings on all of the doors and inside, etc., and has been confirmed as the actual prop that was used in the film. Now, the story behind this was that it belonged to a gentleman that collects phone booths as a hobby, if there is such a thing. And the thought always was that this was, in fact, from the film, but I don't think the fellow really knew what he had until it was explained to him. And since then, it has been 100% screen matched as confirmed to be that prop, and so has been acquired and tended to by the staff at Propstore, and is going to be up for auction in the coming months, and is an entirely unique and fabulous relic from the era, as well as being an undisputably marvellous prop from the film. As you can see, the bifolding doors are still exactly in place as they were. The function with the light comes on as soon as the doors are closed. You may remember the scene where Clark Kent rushes towards the booth, pulls the door open, there is a cut, and then from that point on, the bifold doors come back, and then Superman foot exits the door and off into that direction for the shot. Something we never expected to see here today. There are a plethora of other props here, this kind of stuff that we never thought we'd see. It's absolutely breathtaking, so do stick with us. But for right now, the only, I believe, existing Superman phone booth, genuine Superman phone booth in existence. So another one of the spectacular lots available from Propstore is this incredible costume, flying costume from Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. It's, as a fan, it's just been so awesome to reunite these two items, this original phone booth prop and the flying costume. We've been lucky enough to have a good look around, a good inspection of this suit, and I think this is the only facility in the world right now actually where you could actively compare. In fact, let me correct, all three costumes from one era are here. Would you believe there is a Helen Slater Supergirl tunic, we have this Superman 4 flying outfit, and we have a complete costume from Superman the movie upstairs, which we will get to shortly. And it's the first opportunity I've had to see all three of those together and compare the fabrics. And I think that you will be probably amazed at the differences between them. Right up until this point, we have always considered that all three outfits were made from the same fabric in the same kind of fashion. I can assure you now that is not the case. Even taking into account the effects of aging and fading and other things that may have affected it in the 40-year period since they've been around, I can assure you that the Superman 4 costume versus the Superman 1 costume, they're entirely different colours for a start. The Supergirl costume is more of a standard lycra. When I get to the Superman 1 costume, I'll go through the details of it thoroughly, including the way that the weave, how it was put together and such like. But for right now, I'm just going to take a moment and admire the fact that these two have been brought together. So some of the other incredible lots from Propstore that we've just discovered since we've been here. We've just been shown these. We had no idea they were here. We had no idea they even existed. We'll start off with these two baseballs. The one on the left is the screen used one from Superman 4 that is launched into space. That Clark Kent bats and wallop, off it goes into space. Next to one of the other balls from the production, which was given to one of the crew members, actually signed by the man himself. Did you ever know such a thing existed? And if that wasn't incredible enough, behold the crystal module straight from the starship from Superman 4, the energy module as delivered by Lara. This is an incredible piece. Maybe in the region of 13 inches long, very light, presumably resin, cast resin, and true to form, it does have the green effect in the middle. I do believe that the crystals in Superman 4 were all opticals as opposed to having any internal lighting as they did when Jeff East picked the green crystal in Superman 1. I don't think the one in 2 was lit at all. But this energy module is a true sight to behold, and I'm absolutely sure that the camera isn't giving it its due effect here, because this is really, really something else. This actually looks like it's from Krypton. There's no other way to describe it, really. In the scene, you see that it pops out right to left from the starship. Christopher Reeve retrieves it. And then I believe his stunt double actually puts the crystal into the pocket of the coat that's hanging up in the barn, where it's not seen again until the scene where it's actually used when he regains his powers. Incidentally, that's a deleted scene. There is a lot longer, much longer version of that where you see a bit more footage of the crystal. But I believe that this, I think, one of two that exist. I believe the other one is in the States in the Super Museum in Metropolis, Illinois. Maybe Morgan can confirm that. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of personified by the fact that there is residue of the crystal ship along the one side, which does corroborate to the fact that it was used inside the starship as opposed to the exterior one, which is fantastic. And there is more, would you believe? A flying miniature from Superman 2. Another incredible piece, as if what we've seen already isn't enough. This, I actually have seen this before. This was in a display in Planet Hollywood, London's Planet Hollywood, for some years, where it was mounted inside a large glass case. It has since been subsequently removed from there and mounted in this splendid stand. And if we can get a little closer, you can see that these were actually flown for special effects purposes on fishing line, and the mounting holes would have been through the fist, the forehead, and the figure literally would have been placed on fishing line and thrown across to simulate flying because 1980 special effects. But as you can see, for its time, a beautifully rendered figure, presumably resin again, with a cloth cape. And I think this has been screen matched to a shot in Superman 2 where he flies past one of the buildings in Metropolis on the way to, well, I think he's on the way to confront the supervillains, or he's running away from, either way. There you have it. Again, all upcoming in September's Propstore auction. I'm not sure what the reserves are. All the information will be on their website. But what a joy to just be able to see these things, never mind own them. So everybody out there, this is your opportunity. There will never be another one, believe me. These items are so good close up. Fabulous talking points. But yep, flying figure. Energy module crystal, my favourite piece. And baseballs. This is a real treat. I never expected to see these at all, and especially for you autograph guys out there. Absolutely unquestionable penmanship there. We all recognise it. Looped R, loop C. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed this little show. One more view of that can't hurt, can it? But yeah, it will be interesting to see what these items fetch on the day. They will be on display, at least some of them will be, in London's Waterloo IMAX, just like last year. But there's a considerably more lots this year. I think there's 900 as opposed to last year 600. So Propstore isn't a museum exactly. It's a retail business, but My God, if it was a museum, you could literally spend all day. But there you go.